We are looking forward to the future, and yet we are dying in the present. We adjust our lives to an expectation of tomorrow, while today is actively slipping away. Chapter 1. The Death of the 50-Year Plan. Imagine a young man sitting at a small kitchen table. It's late past midnight. The glow of a laptop screen illuminates his face, casting long shadows across the room. On the screen is a spreadsheet. He is doing the math. He works a stable job. He works overtime. He skips the luxuries, cooks at home, and saves a dedicated percentage of his paycheck every single month. He is doing exactly what the textbooks told him to do. He is following the 50-year plan, the unspoken social contract that promises, if you sacrifice today, you can buy security tomorrow. But as he drags his mouse across the cells of the spreadsheet, the reality hits him, even if he saves every spare penny for the next 10 years. The price of a modest apartment in his city is rising 3 times faster than his savings can accumulate. The goalpost isn't just moving, it's attached to a rocket engine. He realizes, with a cold shock in his chest, that the math simply does not work. The contract is broken. For decades, human society operated on the concept of delayed gratification. We were told to put our desires in a box, lock it away, and spend our youth building a foundation. We traded our present-day peace for a future guarantee. But what happens when the future stops guaranteeing anything? What happens when hyperinflation, stagnant wages, and an unstable economy turn your long-term savings into a cruel joke? The answer is a quiet global psychological shift. A generation of young people who have looked at the spreadsheet of modern life realize they can no longer afford a future and decided to spend what little they have on the present. Welcome to the era of doom spending. Chapter 2. Why we buy what we can't afford. Let us paint another picture. Imagine walking into a high-end luxury boutique or looking at a premium online store. A person buys 1,000 designer shoes, a luxury watch, an expensive espresso machine, or a ticket to an extravagant concert. To an outside observer, perhaps an older generation, this looks like absolute madness. They will look at this person and say, "No wonder you can't afford a house. You are wasting your money on frivolous nonsense. If you just stopped buying these luxuries, you would be wealthy." But this critique completely misses the psychological reality. When a house costs $500,000 and your monthly savings amount to $200, saving for a house is no longer a financial strategy, it is a fantasy. If you save that $200 every month, it will take you over 200 years to buy that home. By that time, inflation will have made that home cost $2 million. So, the mind makes a perfectly logical pivot. If I cannot buy a future, I will buy a present. This is what the French philosopher Jean Baudrillard talked about when he analyzed how we consume objects. We are no longer buying things for their actual utility, their use value. We are buying them for their sign value. When everything feels like it is burning, when the economy of your country feels like a slow-motion collapse, buying a premium item or a luxury experience isn't about being greedy. It is an act of defiance. It is a desperate attempt to claim a small piece of joy, a small sign of status, a fleeting moment of control in a world where you control absolutely nothing else. We are not spending because we are reckless. We are spending because we are mourning. It is a funeral for our expectations. Before we continue, please subscribe to Weltgeist-Leinwand if you enjoy these deep dives into the human condition. Chapter 3. The Philosophy of the Fake Future. To truly understand doom spending, we have to look through the lens of existentialism. Philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Albert Camus argued that human beings require a sense of purpose and future projection to remain stable. We need to believe that our current actions matter for a tomorrow that actually exists. When an economy enters a state of hyperinflation or permanent instability, it doesn't just destroy the value of paper currency, it destroys the value of time. In a stable economy, time is your friend. If you leave your money in a bank, it grows. If you invest in your skills, they appreciate. Time rewards patience. In a hyperinflated or broken economy, time becomes your worst enemy. Every day you wait, your money is worth less. Every week you hesitate, the cost of living climbs higher. The system forces you to realize that money is a hallucination. It is numbers on a screen that can be wiped out by a policy change, a market crash, or a political crisis. When tomorrow feels completely fake, the only thing that feels real is now. Imagine this. You are standing in a supermarket. You see the price of milk or coffee has doubled compared to last year. Your salary, however, stayed exactly the same. you feel a deep, suffocating sense of helplessness. You realize you are working overtime, trading your finite human hours for a currency that is actively melting in your hands. This creates a state of hypernormalization, a concept coined by investigator Alexei Yurchak. It describes a situation where everyone knows the system is failing. Everyone knows the promises are lies, but because no one can see a way out, everyone pretends everything is normal. Doom spending is the coping mechanism for hypernormalization. We buy the expensive coffee, we go on the trip we can't afford, because it allows us to pretend that we are living a normal, prosperous life. Chapter 4. The absurd revolt of the modern worker. If the future is a ghost, then the present becomes a battlefield. When a generation realizes that the traditional metrics of success are mathematically impossible to reach, their behavior changes. They stop playing by the rules of a game that is clearly rigged. This brings us to the philosophy of Albert Camus and his concept of the absurd. Camus argued that human existence is inherently absurd. We are creatures who desperately search for meaning and stability in a universe that offers none. In the modern economy, the absurd is working 40, 50, or 60 hours a week, exhausting your physical body and mental health only to realize your purchasing power is lower than it was last year. It is the contradiction of working harder to fall further behind. So how does the modern human revolt against this absurdity? They do it through small, quiet rebellions. In contemporary culture, we see this manifesting as quiet quitting or revenge bedtime procrastination, where people refuse to sleep at night because those late-night hours are the only time they truly own. Doom spending is another form of this absurd revolt. When you buy that expensive meal, that aesthetic coffee gadget, or that ticket to a festival, you are not acting rationally. And that is exactly the point. It is an irrational response to an irrational system. It is a way of saying, if the economy refuses to give me a house in 10 years, I will at least give myself a luxury today. If the system is going to burn my future, I will choose how to burn my present. Camus famously wrote that we must imagine Sisyphus, the man condemned for eternity, to push a boulder up a hill only to watch it roll back down, as happy. Why? Because Sisyphus owns the choices he makes while walking back down the mountain. Doom spending is the modern Sisyphus buying a nice pair of shoes for the walk back down. It is a temporary, tragic, yet beautiful rebellion against a hopeless routine. Chapter 4. Escaping the wheel. So where does this leave us? Is the answer to simply give up, spend every last cent, and let the future take care of itself? Not necessarily. Recognizing the trap of the fake future is the first step toward reclaiming your actual power. The system wants you to stay in one of two states, either hopelessly working overtime to chase a ghost you can never catch, or doom spending your life away, so you remain permanently dependent on the next paycheck. Both paths keep you trapped in the machine. The ancient Stoic philosophers like Seneca and Epictetus lived through periods of massive imperial corruption and economic chaos. They offered a different way out. They taught that when the external world becomes a chaotic hellscape, your only true asset is your internal sovereignty. Your mind, your creativity, and your refusal to let outer chaos dictate your inner peace. If the traditional social contract is dead, then you are free to write a new one for yourself. You don't have to define your success by the metrics of a broken housing market or a collapsing currency. If you can only save a little, save it not out of fear, but as a small shield for your freedom. And if you choose to spend, do it consciously, not to numb the pain of a broken world, but to genuinely enrich your mind, your relationships, and your art. The spreadsheet may say that the future is uncertain, but the spreadsheet cannot calculate human resilience. It cannot measure the power of a mind that decides to find meaning, beauty, and creation, even while standing on the edge of a cliff. We live in heavy times, navigating systems that often feel designed to exhaust our spirits. But simply by stepping back, analyzing the machinery, and understanding why we feel the way we do, we take the power back. Thank you so much for watching Weltgeist-Leinwand. Keep your mind sharp, protect your peace, and I will see you in the next chapter.